that this guy is ready to just step in and take this team that I believe is built to go contend for a title? Skip, I just don't see it.
After almost a year and a half, I am back with another Trey Lance video. Long story short, because I hate intros, Trey Lance is going to be a dog for the 49ers this year. So, Shannon Sharp, I respect you, but I think you're going to be very wrong. But before I get into this video, make sure you guys like and subscribe to the channel, as any and all support is very much appreciated, helps me out more than you can see. Now, let's get right into why Trey Lance will be a dog in 2022. As we all know, Trey Lance had one of the strongest arms in that 2021 draft class, which was a big reason why he went 3rd overall to the Niners, and they gave up so much for that pick. His raw physical skills made him one of the best quarterback prospects last year, which made it worth it for John Lynch to do what he did. Lance only started 2 games last season and played in half of another game, but he showed some promise in those 2.5 games. His rushing ability is clearly there, averaging 64.4 yards per game in those 2.5 games. He looked elusive on almost every run, along with his speed. That combo is going to be scary for opposing defenses to have to worry about, on top of his ridiculous arm. His arm strength is actually incredible. It was one of the things that people raved about when he was drafted. Man can put some zip on that ball, get into those tight windows, and put it deep down the field. And then, there was Friday's preseason game, and yes, I know it's preseason, but they still put him out there. He looked very calm in the pocket, had some poise on 2 plays specifically. One where he ran up the middle for a 7-yard gain. Nothing was developing downfield, but he kept looking, nothing was coming, so he just took off at the perfect time, and he slid down for a 7-yard gain. Then there was a 76-yard touchdown, with about 36 air yards on it from my calculations in my eye. He just stayed in the pocket, he stepped up, and delivered a beautiful throw on a rope to Danny Gray, don't know who it is, who took it to the house. These games have shown that his athleticism and raw ability is easily his biggest asset, while also having some poise in the pocket that some people may not have known about. But like I said a lot that time, I said the word raw a lot, and that's because Trey Lance is still kind of raw. There are some concerns, like accuracy and potential arm fatigue. I don't know about all that, but Brandon Ayuk made a funny joke about it on TikTok, I won't lie, capturing this TikTok that is now on the screen. The only 3 throws from today, his arm got fatigued after that. That was, not gonna lie, it's kind of funny he's poking a joke like that. But accuracy is definitely sometimes a problem. For example, in the second game he started last year, against Houston, there was a ball meant for George Kittle, that if Trey put it a little higher, it would have been at worst an incompletion. But because it was lower than it needed to be, it led to an interception. Also was not the best decision, but could have been a little better result if he had put a little more touch on it and threw it more accurately to George. Then there are times he throws it beautifully, like a tight window pass to Brandon Ayuk on the left sideline against the Cardinals, a spot only he could really get it, and it was an absolutely beautiful ball. But that's what comes with these project quarterbacks. Inconsistencies that can be coached. And we've seen some things in training camp that are just beautiful, but then last year we saw some inconsistencies. And speaking of coaching, what do you know? He's got one of the best offensive minds I have personally ever seen in Kyle Shanahan. He's up there with McVay. His versatile offense fits perfectly with Trey Lance, as Shanahan, unless it's clock management, as we all know, thanks 28-3, still love ya, can come up with anything on the fly to put his offense in the best position to win. He made Jimmy G a winner, not saying he's a terrible quarterback, but it was mostly because of the system and the team he had around him. Imagine what he could do with a more athletic and exciting quarterback in Trey Lance. My god, the possibilities are endless. The Kyle Shanahan offense allows so much room for yards after catch. With so many screens, passes over the middle, he has made every quarterback lead the league in yak per completion. Yes, even Nick Mullins. I bet none of you believe that. Nobody. Look it up. Whatever year he started a good amount of games, he did it. I will put a graphic on the screen right now saying how he did this. I promise you. But Lance adds another element to this offense with his very strong arm. See, Jimmy Garoppolo's average depth of target has been bottom 10 for a while now. He was also second to last in the percentage of throws to players 20 yards or more downfield at 7.6%. We know Jimmy G as one of the best game managers and bridge quarterbacks in a good bit now, but now that they are on to the future with Trey Lance, some of those numbers will change for the new starting quarterback. Given his arm strength and Shanahan's creativity, the deep ball will be utilized much more in this next season, with guys like Deebo Samuel and Brandon Ayuk being able to stretch the field, as we have seen all training camp from Ayuk. Lance has the strength to make the deep throws that Garoppolo couldn't, or throws across the field, like his 45-yard touchdown to Deebo Samuel last year. Lance scrambled all the way to the right on a play action and sees Deebo crossing over to the left side 39 yards away. Lance was on the 49 and threw it to the 12, a throw that would be harder for Jimmy Garoppolo to make than it would for Trey Lance. The combination of Lance's arm strength, Shanahan's over the middle, yards after catch, and outside zone run scheme is perfect. With a loaded running back core and Trey Lance himself, that outside zone run is going to just work beautifully for the 5 of them if they use all 5 running backs, which they all got some talent, and we know Kyle Shanahan, so it's going to work well. But those skill sets and schemes just match way too well for Lance to have a chance to be terrible, as Shannon Sharp may believe. Trey also may be prone to fewer turnovers than Jimmy, who's very high in the turnover-worthy plays category. Not that he had a ton of turnovers, but he had a lot of turnover-worthy plays. While he can succeed throwing over the middle, just as Garoppolo did, he's much better throwing the outside, where there are fewer defenders, so not as much throwing to traffic, meaning that on those outside throws, he'll have a much higher margin for error since there are fewer people on the outside with the chance to make a play on the football. Saying that though, he still can throw intermediate, which, as we all know, there is more traffic there, so those will not be an issue either, and we saw that a little bit in the Texans game. While there are definitely some concerns with Trey Lance, like his injury-riddled and minimal experience rookie season, or his accuracy issues, or his arm fatigue, shut up, beat writers, I think the positives will outweigh the negatives severely. With him being so physically dominant with his athleticism, running ability, and arm strength, along with being in a Kyle Shanahan offense, which is just an elite scheme for a quarterback to be in to succeed. Ask Matt Ryan, or hell, even Matt Schaub. I just think that's crazy that Matt Schaub had some good years with Kyle Shanahan. I see no way of him being as bad as someone like a Justin Fields, who went 8 picks after Lance. And Bears fans, don't get mad at me. I think Fields has potential, it's just your front office is terrible and always will be. I couldn't tell you the last time we saw someone as explosive with his legs and arm since Michael Vick back in his Eagles days. I mean, both are bottom 3 in pass attempts in college since 1976, Vick with 343 and Lance with 319. And that is a stat comparison brought to you by Mike Kennedy NFL, my podcast partner on the JM Touchdown Show. Go check it out. You could say Josh Allen is also a comparison, but Lance and Allen have different running styles, even though Lance is not afraid of putting a shoulder into people and absorbing some contact. And speaking of Josh Allen, early in his career, he also had some very bad accuracy concerns that were mostly caused by mechanic issues like him not using his hips, but look at him now. There's always something that can be coached, especially with an offensive genius like Kyle Shanahan, and maybe new QB coach and a former NFL quarterback, Brian Griese, we have yet to see coach, can be a huge positive for Lance. I haven't even brought up how good their receiving core is. They have George Kittle, who in my opinion could be the best tight end in the league, but he's definitely second. Brandon Ayuk, and if you've seen anything about 49ers training camp, which I have because I've been trying to make this video for a while, I just needed the proof. Brandon Ayuk has been dominating in 49ers camp, and at the end of last season, from weeks 8 or 9 to 14, he was the best receiver on the team. Look up the stats. He had more catches and yards than Deebo did in that time span. And they also have Deebo Samuel, one of the best yards after catch receivers, who just got a huge payday, so Shanahan will be looking to use him even more, and he can come out of the backfield. But that's just insane. And I know that Trey Lance and Brandon Ayuk are going to be a duo next year to watch out. So fantasy owners, like myself, make sure to get these guys in every league, because Brandon Ayuk is going to go over 1,000 yards, whether you like it or not, and Trey Lance is going to be insane on the ground and pretty good throwing the goddamn football down the field to these 3 guys. It's going to be crazy, 49ers fans. Get ready for a new look, explosive, running down the field, any type of offense, because you got a guy that can do everything. And with some coaching, any and all concerns will be gone by the end of his rookie contract, and I will promise you that. Although I just made that promise, you could decide whether or not to believe me. But if you have any brain, you'll see that there's too much for him to just flame out and be another third overall bust like a Sam Darnold. Good luck, Trey. I and many others know that you'll be a dog this year. And my bold take, besides this whole video, is that he'll be a top 12 to 14 quarterback in the league by season's end. And with all that being said, that is it from me, guys. Thank you for tuning into Fanatic Sports. If you made it this far into the video, please make sure you like and subscribe to the channel, as all support is very much appreciated, helps the channel out more than you know. Also, make sure you follow me on Instagram at FanaticSports25 and on Twitter and TikTok at Fanatic Sports. This is Joe from Fanatic Sports. Again, the signature football flip. Signing off.